Woke up and took a breath again, Yahweh. Looked up and saw the sun again.
Good morning.
I'm grateful for the eyes I have. Amen. I'm moving on my toes again. I'm grateful for the wind against my face. I'm grateful for that sensation of a loved one's embrace. I'm grateful for the lemon juice upon my lips. I'm grateful I can smile when I'm tasting it.
Good morning, Drika. Thanks so much for connecting with us this morning.
I'm grateful, full to the brim. I am grateful I woke up again. Woke up
Good
and
morning,
took a breath
Tate.
again,
Thanks so much for connecting with us this morning.
Looked up and saw the sun again. I'm grateful for the eyes I have. Amen. I'm moving on my toes again. I'm grateful for the wind against my face. I'm grateful for that sensation of a loved one's embrace. I'm grateful for the lemon juice upon my lips. I'm grateful I can smile when I'm tasting it.
Pastor Ransom, thanks you so much for connecting with us this morning.
I'm grateful, full to the brim. I am grateful I woke up again. Woke up and took a breath again, Yahweh. Looked up and saw the sun again.
I'm going to give it just a couple minutes. A few more people time to connect with us, just in case somebody's running behind. Miss Hoy, we are here. 2026. Happy New Year to you all.
I'm grateful for the lemon juice upon my lips. I'm grateful I can smile when I'm tasting it. I'm grateful, full to the brim. I am grateful I woke up again. Woke up and took a breath again, Yahweh. Looked up and saw the sun again. I'm grateful for the eyes I have. Amen. I'm moving on my toes again. I'm grateful for the wind against my face. I'm grateful for that sensation of a loved one's embrace. I'm grateful for the lemon juice upon my lips.
I pray all of you guys have had a pretty good week this past week. Had a great weekend and preparing for the first full week of your new year.
Full to the brim. I am grateful I woke up again. Woke up and took a breath again, Yahweh. Looked up and saw the sun again.
Good morning, Leisha. Thanks so much for connecting with us this morning.
I'm moving on my toes again. I'm grateful for the wind against my face. I'm grateful for that sensation of a loved one's embrace. I'm grateful for the lemon juice upon my lips. I'm grateful I can smile when I'm tasting it. I'm grateful, full to the brim. I am grateful I woke up again. Woke up and took a breath again, Yahweh. Looked up and saw the sun again. I'm grateful for the eyes I have. Amen. I'm moving on my toes again. I'm grateful for the wind against my face. I'm grateful for that sensation.
Those of you who are just connecting with us, we welcome you this morning. Thanks so much for connecting. I'm going to give it about another minute, and we'll be getting started here.
I'm grateful,
Fam, Thanks so much for connecting with us all the way from the VA. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. I prayed you guys had a great week of celebrating and a weekend of celebrating and reflecting and planning for this upcoming year. This is the first Sunday of the new year, and we are so happy to have made it on this side of the year. Crystal, good morning to you, baby girl. But we're just glad to be here this morning. And there's a lot that is happening. You know, usually we do a recap. I think there's so much going on. It's only one thing that I want to touch on, and that was our, what they called it, a capture, the capture of the Venezuelan leader. That is was a very unorthodox move. I'm not sure about how this is going to play out because my concern is that maybe, you know, other countries decide that they want to do that too, and we'll have a situation. Good morning to you, Anita. Thanks so much for connecting. Right, Trika. So, you know, there's some underlying things there. Financial matters, world economy matters that is beneath the surface of what we see. So I'll tell you guys this: as we spoke on New Year's Day, one of the instructions that we had from Outlook 2026 is to be graceful in your opinions of others. So let's be graceful in our opinions of what happened, how it happened, what should have happened, or whatever. Let's just be graceful. But even more so, let us be prayerful so that we're able to make sure that we are on the right side of whatever happens. Because at the end of the day, it's still God's world, right? And so God is able to take care of the affairs of the world and regulate things as needed. So we'll leave it in the hands of the Lord. But you guys, that's definitely something to be watchful of. Is something to pay attention to. I can't imagine what's going to happen in the morning on the stock market. Those of you who know me know that that's my thing. And so I'm sure we'll have a volatile market tomorrow. Those of you who are investing and are traders, I will say probably look at precious metals because gold and silver will probably be really active tomorrow. I'm not going to say one way or the other. I have my thoughts, but watch that if you're trading. Other than that, let's go into this next week with a clear mind so that we're able to take on what God has set before us. I want to say this to you guys. I have to say this to you guys. When we when we as we enter into the first full week of this year, you will see some things that resemble some of the things you saw last year. Do not give up on your vision for the year, your plans for the year. Don't give up because you experience one thing that is familiar and like, oh, here we go again. Let's not do that. Let's press through it and let's stay focused and continue to move forward towards what it is that we set out to accomplish. Now, this morning I want to talk about something. I had a conversation with somebody that's so dear to my heart. And they asked me a question, and I answered the question to the best of my ability. But then I thought back about it based up on something that the Lord spoke to me this past Friday. I was praying the day after we had our Outlook 2025, and the Lord spoke something to me, and it triggered the memory of that conversation. And the question was asked to me. The question was about the saying, "The blessing of the Lord maketh rich, and addeth no sorrow with it." Right? We all hear that all the time, and we believe that when God blesses us with something, according to that, it should be no kind of nothing that comes with it. and we ought to be able to enjoy it without frustration or challenge or anything like that. And I too believe that for the longest, I believed it to be that way. I kept living for a little while. The hair on my face turned from black to white, and I discovered that the Lord can bless you and you can still have challenges. And on the other day, it dawned on me that whenever the Lord had the children of Israel crossing over from the wilderness, crossing the Jericho into the promised land, that was a blessing from God. But they ended up having to fight to conquer the land. They had to fight. There were wars that had to be fought in order for them to possess the blessing, right? And so whenever that came to my mind, I was like, oh man, yeah, we haven't quite had this thing right. So that was all triggered by the Lord saying something to me in prayer. The Lord says to me in prayer, He says, this year, He's going to make His children, He says, I'm about to make my children rich, right? And when He said He was going to make them rich, same thing came to my mind that just came to yours. I'm thinking, oh, we're about to get ready to be blessed. Here come the money. But as I sat in his presence, I realized that he was not talking about money at all. He was talking about he's about to make us rich beyond what money can buy, right? And I further understood that the reason why many of us see prosperity in our life in certain seasons and then it's not there in other seasons and then it comes back in the next season and then the following season it's gone again, or some of us see prosperity just to a certain level and it seems like we hit a glass ceiling or what have you, and we end up being stuck in a certain level of prosperity. And now I'm talking about financially. We experience that because we have not yet been made rich in the areas of our lives that will sustain that prosperity. And so we want to talk about that this morning. I'm going to give you just a couple points, and we'll probably talk about this for the next couple of weeks, just giving you heads up. But I believe that this work is going to start. This work that the Lord desires to do is going to start in our spirit, with God making us rich in our spirits first. And so I believe that these things that the Lord will do will help us to sustain prosperity and to build wealth. In order to build wealth, you have to already be rich, honestly, because to have wealth, it doesn't necessarily make you rich. We see it all day, every day, where people with a lot of money crash out, and we be like, how could they be so stupid to do that? And it's because they have built wealth, they have acquired wealth, but they're not rich. They're not spiritually prepared and aligned for the blessing that they have received as it relates to abundance and economic and financial security. And so, mentally and spiritually, when you're off, you will not be able to maintain it. And again, we've seen that time and time again. Most people with a lot of money always tell you about the beginning of their wealth or prosperity, how they wasted the money because they were not yet rich. And so, what we're going to talk about today is some of the things that I know that you will find God working in you throughout the course of this year. And for some of you, the Lord has already begun to do this work. And as I go through these next couple of principles, you're going to say, oh, yeah, I've been sensing that. That's really what's been happening in my life. And so we'll start today with being made rich in your spirit, right? And so the first thing that you'll notice that God will do when he's beginning to make you rich in your spirit is he'll begin to balance and increase your gratitude, right? And that's the ability to find and appreciate the abundance already present in your life. It's being able to appreciate the fact that you can have a warm cup of coffee in the morning when you wake up, and you have somewhere to call your own that you're waking up in. It's also something, gratitude is as simple as being able to appreciate certain moments when you connect with others. Just the fact that you're able to have a wholesome relationship, someone that you trust, someone that you enjoy being around, and someone that appreciates you to the same degree that you are appreciating them. All of that's gratitude. And you must be rich in gratitude in order to handle and balance the blessings of the Lord that comes your way. Because most of the times, the majority of the things that we have in abundance that's already present in our life, it's like we get over it so fast. Like you can pray and ask God for a car. After a year and a half, you want another one because you're tired of that car. It costs too much to keep gas in it, or the maintenance is too high, or whatever. And you're ready for the next thing. And you fail to maintain appreciation for what's already present in your life. We shop until we cannot shop anymore because we fail to appreciate the abundance that we always already have. And we say things like, I don't have anything to wear. Well, is that true? Or have you just lost gratitude for how the Lord has blessed you in your wardrobe? Because if you remember, there was a time when you didn't have the options and the choices that you had. Some of us, all we got to do is think back to our childhood. And if your parents had any type of financial challenges, you know that there were times that you wanted certain things that you were unable to get because your parents just didn't have it. It's not because they didn't want you to have it, they just didn't have it to get or to give to you. And so when you remember these things and you look around your life, and when you begin to sense a greater and a deeper appreciation, I'm talking about something as simple as sitting in the living room on your couch, watching your TV in peace of mind. When you begin to show gratitude and recognize how great God was in order to give you that moment, in contrast to a time when there was no peace in your home, a time when you didn't have any peace in your mind, a time when your spirit was always troubled, a time when your heart was crumbling. But to have a sense of being whole and complete, even if you're not all the way there yet, you can feel something deeper working in your spirit. And this is what causes you to recognize other things. And the more you begin to give attention to the abundance that God has already given you in your life, the more you are prepared to receive more. Because if you can't appreciate what you already have, if what you have right now is too much for you to appreciate, if God add anything else to you, you won't be able to appreciate it correctly. And I will tell you, the scripture says that God won't put no more on us than we can bear. And most of the time we think that only means the challenges, but that also means the blessings. Sometimes you really not in a position to be blessed because your mind's not right. You're going to complain about it. You're going to curse your blessing. So you have to maintain a position where you're able to be blessed, and the richness, now watch this, the richness of that gratitude will attract more things to be grateful for. It's magnetic in its nature. And so moving on from that, the next thing you'll begin to sense God working on, again, if he has not already begun throughout the course of this year, you're going to notice that God is working on your integrity and self-respect. And that is living in alignment with your values so that you like the person that you see when you look in the mirror. You're not looking at yourself saying the majority of the time, oh man, I got to do better. I got to get myself together. You're not going to live on that side of life. You're going to live on the side of life where you're saying, you know what, I'm over that. I'm not that don't align with who I am as a person, or I'm not the same person anymore. because you're becoming rich in spirit. When you begin to become rich in spirit, your integrity and self-respect matters. And once your integrity and self-respect begin to increase in its how meaningful it is in your life, it will increase with how meaningful it is in the people that you share your life with. When you become rich in integrity, you will find yourself attracting people who are also rich in integrity, and you will lose interest in dealing with people that doesn't have the integrity that life itself calls for, right? And a lot of us, we know people, and we're cordial with people with that doesn't have any integrity at all. They're fun to be around, but they don't have any integrity. They'll cross you in a minute, or anybody. They ain't faithful to nobody but themselves. And so, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, you become a victim of their lack of integrity, and that is only because there is somewhere in you that lack integrity, and you have to be able to find that integrity within yourself. You have to be able to align yourself with your values. If your values are a certain level or a certain standard, then the level of integrity that you walk in should parallel that. You should also maintain the self-respect that allows you to look at yourself in the mirror and not feel convicted and not say things like, man, I mean, I don't even feel like I deserve what God just did for me. And that's because your respect for yourself is a little bit less than the way God sees you. And who are you to even ponder the idea that maybe God should not have done something for you that he's done? It's important that we give attention to these things. This is how richness, this is how richness is established in us spiritually. It is the core. It is the core of who you are beyond your physical presence. It's the core. It's the essence of who you are. When God is making you rich, you will realize that freedom matters to you. Your freedom. And when I say freedom, I'm talking about free to be yourself. If we were able to redeem the time that we've spent being someone that we're not, allowing things that we would not, accepting things that we should not. If we were able to redeem the time, many of us will have many, many, many years in the bank, because we lose years tolerating. We lose years of freedom because we're trying to play our role in every aspect of our life. And, I'm just going to say this. The older you get, the more you realize how valuable your freedom is, your freedom to be yourself. Some of you will be able to stop taking anxiety medicine once you realize that, you know what, this is who I am, and this is who I'm not. I'm not going to be stressed, and I'm not going to put myself in positions to be stressed because I'm trying to appeal to someone else or something else. I'm not going to do it. It's not worth it. You only have this one life. And if you're not free to be you in this life, when will you have the opportunity to be? The older I get, man, I love my freedom. I am 100% who I am all the time. I don't have any challenges or reservations or hesitations about being myself. I am comfortable in the skin that I'm in. There was a time when I used to get up and I used to put a suit on every day. Me and my cousin was laughing about this last week. He was talking about I wear a hoodie and jeans every day. Yeah, I do, but I got every name brand that you can imagine in my closet. And I don't even wear those things. I don't even wear those suits anymore. I have them, but I don't wear them because I'm comfortable like this. I used to have business meetings and get dressed up to go into a business meeting. My attire was not going to secure the deal. It was my mind, it was who I am as a person that were able to lock in those deals. But trying to appeal to the audience around me in those meetings, we do certain things. Now, I'm not saying you lose your sense of professionalism. That's not what I'm saying. Because if you're not doing what I do, you might have to dress up a little bit. I'm not saying show up at your interview with some leggings and a bonnet on. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is when you dress up, you're not dressing up just to impress somebody. When you prepare yourself and when you present yourself, let me say that. When you present yourself, you're not presenting to make an impression. You're free to be who you are in whatever setting you're in. One of the greatest enemies of most relationships is whenever people at, present themselves as who they want to be and not who they actually are. And when you present as who you want to be, when who you actually are begin to show, it changes the dynamics of the relationship. And you leave people saying, oh man, he switched up on me or she switched up on me. Well, no, nobody switched up on you. You just presented someone, and no doubt that's who you want to be, but you're not there yet. And you need to find freedom in who you are right now and own that. Embrace that. If you need to modify it, modify it. It's okay. You can change. People change every day. It's our option, it's our right to do so. And when you are able when you're able to choose your own path, that's a level of freedom. You're not doing everything that everyone else is doing or doing everything that someone else wants you to do. When you're able to say no to things that impoverish your spirit, then you're tapping into freedom. And it could be things that everybody is doing or things that you've habitually done. When you start getting free, you're going to say, you know what? I do this all the time. I don't like this. I don't like the way I feel after I have Hennessy on Saturday night. Oh my God. I hope y'all ain't overdoing it on the end, but I'm saying there are people who drink, there are people who smoke that don't even like it, but they do it habitually. They form the habit and they don't even like it. Those things, back away from. Step away from it. God's going to begin to make you so rich in your freedom, you're going to be able to say, I don't want this anymore. And you're going to be able to maintain the liberty of it. You're not going to be bound by it. You won't find yourself serving something that you don't desire. It's not who you are. It's not a representation of your core values. And we have to be able to tap into that. Ultimately, being rich in life it is about abundance, having the abundance in things that money cannot buy and death cannot take away. Right? So you have to measure your richness by what it is that you possess that money did not forward you the opportunity to possess that. The richest things that you'll have, the most expensive things, the most valuable things that you'll have in life will be the things that come from God and within. And when we understand this, then you understand why God is working on you about certain things, the way you think, the way you speak, the things that you always talk about, the things that you always allow to throw you off course, the things that you always allow to distract you, the things that you allow that helps you to focus. You understand this whenever you begin to tap into the richness and you allow God to make you rich in abundance. And after that, he'll begin to send the prosperity. He'll begin to send the wealth. He'll begin to send the financial security, the economic stability. All of those things will come. But first, you need to make sure that you allow the Lord to make you rich in spirit. And that's not the only area that God will make you rich in. Don't get me wrong. Now we'll talk about some other things, but I'm saying this is the foundation. And I think that we love to talk about the other things more than the main thing. But in certain instances in life, we have to be able to keep the main thing the main thing. You cannot continue to focus on the sides. Some of those things are sides. Wearing designers are side. Driving foreigns, those are side items to wealth and prosperity. But those things that truly make you rich from your core are things that money cannot buy. Money won't be able to secure it for you. You begin to walk in the confidence that regardless of your financial balance, your life is full. If we take away all of your money right now, is your life full? Will you, if you couldn't drive what you're driving now, if you couldn't live the way you live now, would you honestly be able to say that my life is full and full of love? My life is still filled with learning. My life is a contribution to the world around me. And I feel alive regardless of whether I have this or that. Just who I am matters to the people around me. And the people around me experience a better life because I am and I live. That's what richness is. If you ever talk to someone that is less fortunate and or homeless, sometimes you run into some people that are so rich. Their appreciation for life and being here, their appreciation for others, and their appreciation for what God has done for them is mind-blowing. And we may look at them and say, oh man, they got a bad rap in life. They've been dealt a bad hand. But they don't see it that way. Therefore, what we look at as their struggle, they experience as an opportunity to live another day. They experience it as an opportunity to have a meal another day or have shelter for a night because they're grateful and they are free. Sometimes homeless people have more integrity than people with all the money in the world. Sometimes the people that have the least, as it relates to things, they have the most integrity. Sometimes it's people with abundance that lack integrity and self-respect and the ability to respect others. It's the people that have it all that lack the gratitude. They're unappreciative to a lot of things. And it's because they have prosperity and wealth without being rich. So I want you to be rich in your mentality. When I say your mentality, I'm talking about the way you think, the way you view life, the way you judge your experiences, the way you balance your experiences. We have to be able to be rich internally before we're able to handle the wealth and prosperity that we all desire. and I believe that God has intended for us. So, yeah, hey, that's it. Thank you guys so much for connecting with us this morning. I hope that I've said something to inspire you or something that is thought provoking enough to trigger you to go into consideration and ponder some of the things that we said today, and that these things will help you to align yourself with what it is that the Lord will do in your life in this upcoming year. On Thursday, I told you guys that, excuse me, I told you guys that prayer will be your most effective tool, and it's going to be an asset to you in this upcoming year. So the more you use prayer and the more you submit to God working in you what it is that He desires to do, more you submit to God, allowing God to make you rich in your spirit, I think that you will see that a lot of things that challenged you or moved you in times past won't have the same effect moving forward. And it is my prayers for you all that the Lord will enrich you in all things. And I pray that you're able to align yourself and submit to the process that it takes for you to be prepared and qualified to receive these things. It's nothing like God blessing you and you don't feel worthy of what He's blessed you with. You should feel worthy because He prepared you and approved you. So we don't want that to be your experience. And the way that happens is if you allow God to make you rich in all things. Look, if you need me before next Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, hit me up, email, text message, phone call. If I don't answer, I'll get back with you at my earliest convenience. But, however, if in fact I don't hear from you this week, I will talk to you on next Sunday morning. I love you all. I bid you all blessings and Godspeed. Y'all go and be rich. And I will see y'all on next Sunday. Don't forget to go and make a donation. You know how to do it. If you don't, reach out to the person that shared this link with you, and they'll give you that information. We love you all. Y'all have a great week. And let's make 2026 everything that God said it will be. I love you all.
Grateful I woke up again. Woke up and took a breath again, Yahweh. Looked up and saw the sun again. I'm grateful for the eyes I have. Amen. I'm moving on my toes again. I'm grateful for the wind against my face. I'm grateful for that sensation of a loved one's embrace. I'm grateful for the lemon juice upon my lips. I'm grateful I can smile when I'm tasting it. I'm grateful, full to the brim. I am grateful I woke up again. Woke up and took a breath again, Yahweh. Looked up and saw the sun again. I'm grateful for the eyes I have. Amen. I'm moving on my toes again. I'm grateful for the wind against my face. I'm grateful for that sensation of a loved one's embrace. I'm grateful for the lemon juice upon my lips. I'm grateful I can smile when I'm tasting it.